Hello students, welcome to SAM classes. Today we're going to start the chapter probability. As you know in KCT, around 5 marks we can expect from the chapter probability. So it's a very high weighted chapter. It contains questions for at least 5 marks. So it's very important to understand what comes in KCT and what are the things we need to learn about in KCT. What are the different ways the KCT asks the questions, okay? And what are the formulas and the concepts which are very must for the KCT. Now, before starting the chapter, let's talk something honest for a minute. Again, one very important thing. Before starting any chapter, before starting your day, when you woke up, when you get up from your bed, okay, make sure that you have kept the bed something somewhere else, or you have cleaned the bed in such a way so that you are not gonna sleep on that bed again till you finish the whole day's work. So that is one thing you have to make sure while getting up. This shows that strong determination with what determination you are getting up. The moment you have shown a very strong determination, write down. I'm getting up at 4 and I have to do today by before sleeping, I have to do these stuff. Once you have made up the list that this things I have to complete before going to bed, give a deadline or a timing. So what it shows is the efficiency, so that you understand that within 4 hours I need to finish it, so that your brain cannot give an excuse. Time is of the essence and it is very less to the KCT students. If you really want to do create an impact, 15 days are more than enough. And right now we're recording on the 15th of August. Okay, a very good day for all of us. So take a pledge, take an oath that from today onwards also, even if I haven't studied a single thing, I'll start studying. I'll make sure my KCET goes damn well, and these 15 days goes the best. Doesn't matter what you have done in the past, because that is gone. What is there right now, you can take care of that. And with that also you can spark a change in yourself, and that change will be reflected in the upcoming exams. So let's start it. Let's start the beautiful chapter of probability. Let's see. So what we have in probability, the basic approach that we have done in what class 10th, 11th, what was the basic approach? Classical theory. Probability of any event A is equal to what? The number of favorable outcome, which favorable outcome means which supports it, and by total number of outcome. Now here one word we have used, equally probable. Equally probable means, let's say I'm tossing a coin. I can get a head or I can get a tail. So what is the chance of getting a head? 50%. What is the chance of getting a head? 50%. And what is the chance of getting a tail? 50%. Correct. So this both are equally probable. Okay. Any one can occur. Okay. So the chances are equally likely. Now let's take an example. Throw a dice. What are the possible outcomes? We'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What is the probability of getting a number 4? How many 4 is a 1? So 1 by 6. That's it. So this is the classical theory, and we have done a lot of questions and a lot of theorem based on this. Even our new upcoming theories are also based on this. Okay, so don't worry, but classical theory is very important. A lot of your questions will be solved just by this only. Okay. Now next, a very important term comes to students, and it becomes a very difficult to have a differentiation between this term, mutually exclusive, and independent. I'll go in depth about the independent in the next slides. Till now, see what is mutually exclusive. See, the word when you say exclusive, it means what? To exclude something. Okay, means no common. So means happening of one excludes the other. So if I say A has occurred, so the moment I say A has already occurred, so what it says that B can never occur. Correct. So that is known as mutually exclusive. So let's say you are rolling a dice. Okay. So when you're rolling a dice, what are the samples first? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. A is the event that you get an even number. B is the event you get an odd number. The moment I say A has occurred, what do you say? Sir, B cannot occur. The moment I say B has occurred, what you can say? That A cannot occur. And A intersection B is what? 0. These are disjoint sets. Okay. There is nothing common in between them. There is nothing common in between them. Next is exhaustive event. Exhaustive event is like you can understand from the Venn diagram. Let's say we have a universal set like this, and you have broken them into three parts, E1, E2, and E3. And if I do a summation of all these three, I'll get the whole sample space. So three events are said to be exhaustive if their union gives the entire sample space. So we can understand, let's say A is the event that you get 1 and 2, B is the event you get what is it 3 and 4, and C is the event you get 5 and 6. So if I do a union of A, union B, union C, okay, so will I get the entire sample space of throwing a dice? Yes, definitely. So these all three are exhaustive events. Clear, students? What is mutually exclusive means two sets which have nothing in common. And the moment I say that A has already occurred, it means that B cannot occur because they have nothing in common. So if already we know that A has occurred, means nothing can come from B. That's it. Simple. Okay. Coming to the next few addition theorems when we had did sets in class 11. So few theorems which are important like union of A union B. Okay. I'm not going with the proof. That is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection C. Correct. So like this you can understand. Okay. So A plus B minus, oh, I made for the 3 one. Okay. So A plus B minus C. This part I've taken twice, so I've subtracted one time. Okay. Probability of A union B union C. Probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C minus probability of A intersection B, B intersection C, A intersection C plus probability of A intersection B intersection C. That's it. Clear? Now, probability of these are the two very important theorems which you can expect questions in KCT. Okay, so that's why I've given it up. Probability of A bar intersection B is equal to probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Now, proof and all for the later part I have kept it, so don't worry about that. Proof and all definitely is there, but still, as of now, for the KCT part, you don't need the proof. So that's why I'm just giving you the important theorems and the understanding. Probability of A union B whole bar. This is we know De Morgan's law, correct? If anybody has read what a bit of logic gates, they know about De Morgan's law. Now, the chapter probability is very interesting chapter, and this chapter you can use in reality and in a lot of situations when you play cards, when you go to the casinos, when you have to do something in life. Always we have uncertainty. We say in terms maybe you can do this work by 10% chance, maybe you can do by 90%, maybe today the India team will win, maybe today we can win one more gold in the Olympics. So the chances, when we talk about chances of something happening, we refer to probability. Anybody good in probability is like what you say, he has got a lot. Okay. So to be a master of probability will be like what you say. You can do a lot of stuff, you can predict a lot of stuff from normal prediction to anything prediction in any stuff. Okay, even the large data scientists they also take the stat data and they do predictions for upcoming elections, for upcoming what do you say, any other projects and all. Okay, and for real life projects also we need require a lot of probability. So probability as a whole is very important chapter. Here we are learning how to score the marks part. When we'll be learning probability in depth and detail, we'll tell you about the real life applications of probability, how do we utilize it, and everything. Okay. The probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. And if they have nothing in common, then no need to subtract that probability of A intersection C. That's it. Probability of A intersection B bar whole bar is equal to probability of what do you do? A bar and then change the sign union B bar. Okay. That is equal to 1 minus probability of A intersection B. That's it. Clear? So everybody, no doubt about this. Let's go to the next part. The next very important concept is conditional probability. See, the word only is telling condition is there, some condition is there. Let's say the climate of Bangalore is very, what is say, rainy. We can't say when it will rain, when it will not. So suddenly, what happened? One of your friend he went out of the house, and you directly gave him a call, and you asked, "Is it raining?" And you're figuring out in your mind what is the probability that it rained, knowing that your friend has already taken an umbrella. What condition will be? You can imagine. And what is the probability that he has not taken the umbrella, knowing that it already rained? A different part. Okay. So both you can imagine. See, so here when we say we don't imagine, we don't believe that we use a lot of probability in our day-to-day life. Correct. So if you see one situation, the other situations, when you take a course, whether you will do good on or not in that doing, knowing that you have already an interest in that. Okay. So the word conditional probability means that what is the probability of event, any event, knowing that another event has already occurred. So conditional probability of E, knowing that F has already occurred, that is given by probability of E intersection F by probability of F. Very, very, very important. Okay. A lot of questions will be there on KCT on this. Next, and a lot of questions can be solved by using this. Probability of E by F plus probability of E bar by F is equal to 1. See, we already know that probability of A plus A bar is equal to what? 1. Probability of something happening and plus probability of something not happening is always equal to 1, correct? So same thing here, clear? So probability of E by F plus probability of E bar by F is equal to 1. Very, very important for KCT. Mark it down, make your short notes, okay? Very, very important, very less time is left. And somewhere around 18th or 19th, we'll schedule our first test on maths. So students, those who are really interested and they really want to check how good or bad they are right now and how much they need to improve, do write a test on 19th of this. Okay, 19th of August, we are having our first test. Okay, and this test will be basically based on the previous year PYQ, so that you will have a proper revision also and you can understand how good or bad you are. So do register, do put your email IDs, okay? And what do you say, you can go to our website onlinesamclasses.in and do register, okay? Classes.in and do register for the test, okay? Do register and put a message that you want to write the test with your email ID and the phone number, okay? Email ID and the phone number you need to give, and you can write the test so that once we are done, we can give you a call, we can explain you what are the doubts, what are the difficulties, where you went wrong, where you can improve and how you can improve in a very less stipulated amount of time so that you can improve more and you can do the best result in the KCT part. Let's see the next one. Same thing, just imagine this is one event. So probability of A union B, or conditional probability of A union B, knowing that F has already occurred, is same thing. Just open this one. A union B is what? Probability of A, probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. That's it. Correct. So basically what you have done is probability of A plus B minus A intersection B, and then you have done by F. So probability of A by F plus B by F, conditional probability till here. Okay. Next is multiplication theorem. Multiplication theorem is very simple and it is almost derived from conditional probability. Okay, so in conditional probability, what you have written, probability of event A knowing that B has already occurred is equal to what? Probability of A intersection B by probability of what? B, correct. Now, if you send it that side and cross multiply, so probability of A intersection B will be what? Probability of occurrence of B into probability of A by B, correct. That's it. That's only multiplication theorem. What is that? Now, what is independent events? Two events are said to be independent if probability of A intersection B or E intersection F is equal to probability of E into probability of F. Now, you'll understand more better with an example. Let's see an example and what do you say? Make our understanding crystal clear. They say the more you understand with the examples, the more you'll be able to retain it. Maths, just by writing the formulas, we don't understand much. Let's see an example. So let's see this kid, he's thinking about what is multiplication theorem. So let's say you have a bag and that bag contains what? Not gold, not silver. It contains balls, white ball, three green ball and two red balls. Okay. So these three balls it have. Now if I say you are, what is it, taking out two balls without replacement. And what is the probability of taking out two green balls? So first time when you took it out, 3 by 9. And second green ball when you took it out, because it is without replacement, it is 2 by 9. Now without replacement, it means what? It is dependent. Now here, the moment you took out the first ball, you got what? 3 by 9. And since you have already replaced that ball once you have took it out, again you are taking out a green ball. What is the probability of getting a green ball? 3 by 9. So here, see, this is what? Independent event, because the event this doesn't matter with this. Okay, the occurrence of this doesn't has anything to do with this. So these two events are known as what? Independent events. That's it. Clear? So and here this is what? Without with replacement or without replacement is what? Probability of A intersection B is equal to what? Probability of first we have find out the green ball, and second again probability of green ball finding another green ball, knowing that you have already taken one green ball. That's it, done. And probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of B. That's it. because they are not dependent on each other. Okay, so very simple. The understanding is what condition multiplicative inverse. If we are doing something with replacing, so what happens? It almost what is it? It makes the whole entire situation. So there, when one event already happened, and you have what do you say replace that event to create the original scene once again, so as if nothing has happened. What happens? Let's say you are cooking some stuff. Mom told you to make a tea, but the moment you are making tea and you're watching a video, correct? You're watching a YouTube video and you got too into it, and the milk spilled out. You're making a tea, so first you're boiling the milk. A lot of students they'll comment, sir, you're making a tea, sir. How come milk comes, sir? Okay, you already put to what do you say, tea leaves and all that. So just let's say boiling the milk, and what is it, milk spilled. So what do you do? In order to recreate the scene, you just clear it out, everything. So that when mom comes, what you can see, no milk, no traces of that. So same thing here, you have already taken out one ball and you have replaced that ball with another. Okay, so you have already created the same situation here. So taking out a ball here and taking out a ball, green ball here, doesn't has anything to do with the first and second event. So very important here, one event, the first event is entirely independent of the second. Okay, so these two are independent. That's it. So what is very difficult in that? Nothing is very difficult. Now let's say we have two events A and B, and we can say that A bar and B bar, if these two are independent, A bar and B bar are also independent. A bar and B is also independent. What is it? Change it. A and B bar is also independent events. So very important. They can give you any what you say A and B, and they can say these two are independent. Okay. Now they'll say, what about A dash and B? They'll give you what you say different what is a question form. So you have to say. So very important. Do write it down. Make short notes, students. Very important for you all. Okay. Now let's see about the Bayes theorem. See, a lot of times we complicate Bayes theorem. Bayes theorem is very simple. Now, what is Bayes theorem, sir? Let's say we have three bags. Bag one of the very classical example, bag two, and bag three. Okay. In bag one, we have four green balls, five white balls. In bag two, we have six green, seven white. In bag three, we have three white, eight green. Now, what I'm telling you is, what is the probability of getting a white ball? Okay, or getting a green ball, sorry, from the third bag. Or we can say about let's say, what is the probability of getting a white ball from third bag? So everybody will shout and say, sir, favorable is 3 because number of white balls is 3 and total is 11, so 3 by 11. Sir. Very good, very good. Now, what about something opposite? Now, probability of getting a green ball out of the bag third is equal to what? Already we know that bag third is there. We have chosen a bag third. And what is the probability of finding the green ball? 8 by 11. Now, if I just reverse it is not in the sense like that. If I want to know the source, okay, I already know the source was third bag and the event was getting a white ball or a green ball. Okay. Now, what if I don't know whether I have taken this bag or not? What if I say the event that I got is green ball, but I don't know from which bag it came? So probability of getting the choosing the third bag, knowing that I have got a green ball. So what will be? Very simple. Favorable by total. What is favorable? The ball, imagine we're taking from what? Bag three. So ball is taken from bag three divided by ball taken from all the bags. So how do we take ball from bag three? First we choose the bag three. Then we choose the ball out of bag three. So first choosing the bag and then the green ball. Same way, choose the first bag, green ball. From there, choose the second bag, green ball from there. Choose the third bag and then green ball from there. That's it. Nothing more than that we have done. Correct. So that is equal to put the value. Choosing a green bag is equal to how much? 1 by 3. 3 bags are there. And then choosing a green, what is a green ball is what? 8 by 11. So 1 by 3 into 4 by 9 plus 1 by 3 into 6 by 9, 6 by 13, sorry, plus 1 by 3 into 8 by 11. So very simple. Done. Now one more example we can take. Let's say a person was going with either bike, car, or a train, and he met with an accident. So the percentage of the probability of having an accident is zero point 0.7 by bike, zero point 0.2 by car, and zero point 0.1 by train. Now let's say if he's going by, so what is the probability of going by car, what is a bike or train is what? One third. Three events are there equally likely. So now if I'm asking what is the probability that he went with the car knowing that he's already met with an accident? Just opposite. I know that he got into the accident, but I want to know by which source he was going. So in that case, what is my favorable? This car thing. So how will I choose the car? One third of I chose the car, and probability zero point 0.2 getting accident with that, and then by total. So total means first the bike, so zero point 0.7 into 1 by 3 plus zero point 0.2 into 1 by 3 plus zero point 0.1 into 1 by 3. That's it. Solve it and you will get the answer. Very simple. Okay. Now next is random variable. What is a random variable? Random variable. Okay, random variable is it's like a function kind. Okay, where you give some conditions and based on that we try to find out the probability of those things. Okay, let's see. We have millions of data to process, and what we're going to do with that millions of data, we try to form something or the other and try to create a pattern so that we can explain about the data. We can get some conclusive points about the data. Let's say we have tossed three coins. So what are the outcomes? Eight outcomes: head, 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 tail, head, tail, tail, head, tail, head. Okay, same with tail, head, head, tail, head, tail, 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 head, and tail, tail, tail. Eight outcomes. Let's say x is my random variable where that is equal to number of head minus number of tails. So when I got the first event, head, 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 how many number of heads are there? Three heads. And how many number of tails? Zero. So a number of heads is three, number of tails is zero. So three. So here my random variable is what? 3. Now head, head, tail. Two heads. So 2 minus 1. So that is 1. So like that. One head minus two tails. So minus 1. Two head minus one tail. So 1. Two heads minus one tail. Again 1. One head minus two tails. Again minus 1. No, what do you say? One head minus two tails. Again minus 1. And then three tails minus. So minus 3. That's it. So we got the random variable. Now once we got the random variable, what about the probability? So the probability of 1 is equal to how much? See here, total 8. 1 is coming how many times? 1, 2, and 3. So 3 by 8. That's it. What about minus 1? Same thing, 3 by 8. What about 3? It is just coming one time, so 1 by 8. What about minus 3? It is also coming just one time, so 1 by 8. That's it. Now, how do you find the mean? Mean, expected mean is nothing but sigma xipi. So what do you do? Take the random variable, multiply with the probability of that, you will get the mean. Take the random variable, multiply with the probability, you will get the mean. What about variance, sir? So variance, what you have to do? Square this one and then multiply with the probability and then add up a stuff. Okay. So basically what they're trying to say is first square 1 into 3 by 8 plus second thing square this one minus 1 into 3 by 8, correct, plus 3 square into 1 by 8 plus minus 3 square into 1 by 8. That's it. Once you already got a variance, you can just do the square root and get the standard variance. Okay, done. Next is this I have just shown. So how to find the mean? So take the individual variable, random variable, multiply with its probability, add this one, multiply with its probability, add this one, multiply with its probability, add this one, multiply with its probability. Okay, probability. Variance is equal to ex square means square this and then multiply with its probability plus square this multiply with its probability square this plus multiply with its probability plus square this multiply with its probability. Done. So once we got the variance and this is ex whole square. Whatever you got the mean whole square. Okay. So standard deviation is equal to this will be standard deviation, standard deviation. SD equal to root under of variance. So done. You got the answer. So this is also very simple mathematical part. Once you do one question, it will be done. Nothing much is there. Okay. Now once we do the questions, we'll understand more better. Next is binomial theorem. Now when you are doing binomial distribution, when you're doing a large number of data, you did for two throws. Okay, you will solve what is the need, sir? Two throws we did, we got it, three throws, four throws, five throws. What about 100 throws? What about 20 throws? Will you be able to do? Now that time it will be very difficult. So we try to find a function, a formula, so that we can interpret and we can get the answer. So in binomial distribution, the answer we find it out. NCR, N is the total number of trials that you are doing. P power R, okay, sorry, NCR, P power R, Q power N minus R. So P is the probability of getting success, Q is the probability of getting a failure. Let's say I've tossed a coin three times. And what is the probability of getting two heads? So 3C2, two heads because of two, and three total number of coin toss is three. What is the success of getting, what is the probability of getting head? Half power 2 into what is the probability of losing is also half. What do you say? 2 minus 1. So 3 minus 2, that is 1. So you'll get the answer. That's it. So this is all about probability. Now when you have done for 20, we can get the answer like this. Okay. So basically, in probability, we have done a lot. Whatever was coming, we went through. We saw everything. If you have any doubt, take a screenshot, put it up. Now again, do register yourself for the test on 19th. Okay, on the website online samclasses.in. Okay, clear. You can visit our Telegram channel. You can check that. You can visit our WhatsApp group. We are pretty live there. And third, next last thing is, do like, share, and subscribe if you really like the video. And we tried to bring each and everything only for the KCT part. We worked really hard to segregate each stuff. We went through all the PYQs and segregated all the important formulas which were really needed for the KCT part. So if you think we have worked hard, do share it among all your friends so that it reaches to a large number of people. We expect so that it reaches to a really large number of people in these last 15 days. So we are planning to take live classes by within 20th so that we can complete within 2 days the whole of maths along with the PYQ so that you can do a one time very quick and very appropriate revision with me without any failures. Okay, so work hard. Best of luck.